Hi guys, this is Paige. I just filmed the first part of my adult books for my bookshelf tour, and it wasn't supposed to be 2 parts, but it was because my brother's iPod stopped because I guess I was filming too much. So I put the first part on YouTube, and I'm gonna film the rest of the books that I didn't get to get. There's not many, but enough. It'll be a few minutes. And then I'm going to put this one up, and then tomorrow I'll do my YA books. Or maybe not tomorrow because I'm busy at school, but maybe next weekend I'll put my YA books up. So anyway, this is where I left off. This is a book I stopped on. So next up is Cruel Doubt by Joe McGinnis. And I got this one from my grandpa. And I'm not sure what it's about again. I'm probably going to be saying that about a lot of books on here because most of the books on here I haven't read. Again, like I said in my last video, I'll tell you if I have, but most of them I haven't, and this one I haven't. Next one is A Terrible Beauty by Graham Masterson. Again, I have no clue what it's about, or I think we found this one also in the house we moved here, and looks good, so I kept it. Next one is Shattered Silence, The Untold Story of a Serial Killer's Daughter by Melissa G. Moore with M. Bridget Cox. This is true crime. This is about a girl whose mom is a serial killer, and she gets put up for adoption, obviously because her mom's a serial killer in jail. And her life, she starts noticing that she has traits of her mother, and she doesn't want to end up like her mother. Obviously, she doesn't want to be a serial killer, but she goes down the wrong road, and so it's a story about her life. And it's pretty. Looks pretty good, and I got it a while ago because I really wanted to read it. I'm still hoping to read it soon, but who knows when I'll get to it. The next is 4th of July by James Patterson. I got this one at a yard sale because I've always wanted to read the series by him. And so I figured this. I only bought this for like 25 cents. And I figured it's better than getting it for like a couple dollars in the store. So I picked this one up even though it's not the first. And I think I have the first one on my iPad now. So anyway, there's that one. And then the next one is Don't Look Behind You and Other True Cases and Rules Crime Files Volume 15. This is true crime, again, hold on, by Anne Rule, obviously, and it has a few different stories in it. Sorry, I'm trying to balance my iPad while showing you this book, and the sun just went down, that's why it got really dark. I really can't show you what books are in there because it's kind of hard, but yeah, you can look it up on Goodreads. The next is Not Lost Forever, My Story of Survival by Carmina Salcido with Steve Jackson. This is about a girl who her mother and her father fight, and she has 2 or 3 younger sisters. I think she only has 2. She's the oldest of the 3 girls, and her mother and her father have a fight, and her father kills her mother, and then he takes the 3 girls, puts them in the car, and he drives, and he's on the highway somewhere. I can't remember. I think they're in Mexico, but I don't know. And he's driving, and he pulls them one by one out of the back seat and slits their throat and throws them out of the car one by one. And she is the only one that survives the attack. So this is a story about what happens to her after. Next is, okay, so I'm starting my wrestling books. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a huge fan of WWE, which is World Wrestling Entertainment. And so I have a bunch of books about the wrestlers and about different things that have to do with the wrestling, and that's what I'm about to show you next. So it's kind of weird because, you know, I'm a nerd, but, you know, whatever. First is Are We There Yet? The Tales from Never-Ending Travels of WWE Superstars by Robert Caprio. And the next one is Batista Unleashed, which is by Dave Batista with Jeremy Roberts, and he is a wrestler. He's not. I think he quit or something, and he's not a wrestler anymore. But I read this one. It was really good. I liked some of the stories were so funny about their traveling, because obviously they travel a lot. So some of the stories were so funny, and I haven't read this one yet, but I want to. Next is Dungeon of Death, Chris Benoit and the Hart Family Curse by Steve Keith, author of Wrestling Made Men. This is about, obviously, this wrestler, Chris Benoit. He dies. He killed himself. Or he killed his family and then he killed himself. So it kind of falls into true crime, but it's about a wrestler, so I put it in the wrestling section, because it's a WWE novel, I'm pretty sure, I don't know. Maybe not, but it's about a wrestler, so I picked it up, because I always wanted to know what happened to him, because I really liked him, and then, obviously, he did what he did, so. Next is Foley is Good by, obviously, Mick Foley, and he is a wrestler. An old wrestler. I don't think he wrestles anymore, but and he was pretty good, and so I picked up his book at a yard sale, I think. The next is Cheating Death, Stealing Life, the Eddie Guerrero story by Eddie Guerrero, and can't read that below, but this is about another wrestler who died. I think he was on drugs, and I think his heart stopped, so he died, and they found him dead in his hotel room. And it was sad, because he's really good. He was so liked, and, you know. The next is, I think this is going to be a wrestler that you guys are all going to know, even if, like, you don't watch wrestling, you never heard of it. This is probably something, his name that you've heard before around. Hollywood Hulk Hogan by Hollywood Hulk Hogan. If you guys don't know who Hulk Hogan is, then you're obviously living under a rock, because he's not only a wrestler, but he's pretty famous. So. Next is A Lion's Tale A Lion's Tale Around the World in Spandex, Chris Jericho with Peter Thomas Fordinale, I don't know. He is a wrestler, and he is a singer. He's in wrestling, and he's in a band, and he just came back to wrestling not too long ago. And this is a book about his life, which